Question. The 7 stars in the second symbol you've mentioned, do they mean the Pleiades? Answer. Pleiades? No, actually the 7 stars are planets and moons, and they are a symbol for our former 7 colonies in the solar system. The stars are shown in front of a blue background, and the dragon circle means the shape of Earth. The 7 white stars mean Moon, Mars, Venus, and 4 moons of Jupiter and Saturn we had colonized in the past. 2 colonies are no longer in use and abandoned, so 5 stars would be more correct. Question. As you have not allowed me to make photos, what would be useful to prove your real existence and the truth of this story? Can you describe yourself detailed? Answer. I know that it would be helpful to prove the authenticity of this interview if you make some photos from me. Otherwise, you humans are very skeptic. That's good for us and for the real alien species acting secretly on this planet. So even if you had such photos, many of your kind would say that they are fraud, that I'm just a masked human woman or something like that. That would be very offensive for me. You must understand that I can't give you permission to make photos of me or my equipment. This has various reasons, which I want not to discuss with you further. But one of the reasons is keeping up the secrecy of our existence. Another reason is more religious. Nevertheless, you have permission to make drawings of my look and of my equipment. I can show you later. I can also describe myself to you, but I doubt that others of your kind will be able to imagine my real look just from simple words, because the automatic denial of the existence of reptilian species, and generally of intelligent species other than your own, is part of the programming of your mind. Well, I will try. Imagine the body of a normal human woman, and you have at first a good imagination of my body. Like you, I have a head, 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, and 2 feet, and the proportions of my body are like yours. As I am female, I also have 2 breasts. Despite our reptile origin, we have started to give milk to our babies during the evolution process. This happened around 30 million years ago, because this is the best thing to keep the young alive. Evolution has done this for your species already in the dinosaur age, and a little bit later, also for ours. This means not that we are now real mammals, but the breasts of us are not as large as those of human woman. The size of them is generally equal for every female of my kind. The external reproduction organs are for both sexes smaller than those of humans, but they are visible and they have the same function as yours. Another gift of evolution to our species. My skin is mainly of a green-beige color, more pale green, and we have some patterns of brown irregular dots, each dot the size of 1 to 2 centimeters, on our skin and in our face. The patterns are different for both sexes, but females have more, especially in the lower body and in the face. You can see them in my case as 2 lines over the eyebrows crossing my forehead, at my cheek, and at my chin. My eyes are a little bit larger than human eyes. For this reason we can see better in the darkness, and usually dominated from the large black pupils which are surrounded from a small bright green iris. Males have a dark green iris. The pupil is slit and can change its size from a black line to a wide open egg-shaped oval, because our retina is very light sensitive, and the pupil must compare this. We have external round ears, but they are small and not so curved as yours. But we can hear better because our ears are more sensitive for sonic. We can also hear a wide range of sonic. There is a muscle or lid over the ears which can completely close them, for example underwater. Our nose is more pointed, and there is a V-shaped curving between the nostrils, which enabled the ancestors to see temperature. We have lost most of this ability, but we can still feel temperature much better with this organ. Our lips are shaped like yours, those of female a bit larger than those of males, but of a pale brown color, and our teeth are very white and strong, and a little bit longer and sharper than your soft mammal teeth. We have no difference hair colors like you, but there is a tradition to color the hairs in different ages. and the original color is like mine, a greenish brown. Our hairs are thicker and stronger than yours, and they grow very slowly. In addition, the head is the only part of our body where we have hairs. Our body, arms, and legs are similar in shape and size to yours, but the color is different, green-beige like the face, and there are scale-like structures on the upper legs over the knee and upper arms over the elbow. Our 5 fingers are a little bit longer and thinner than human fingers, and our skin on the palm is plain, so we have no lines like you. But again, a combination of scale-like skin structure and of the brown dots. Both sexes have the dots on the palm, and we have no fingerprints like you. If you touch my skin, you will feel that it's smoother than your hairy skin. There are small, sharp horns on the inside of both middle fingers. The fingernails are gray and generally longer than yours. You will see that my nails are not so long and round at the top. This is because I am female. Males have sharp pointed nails with a length of sometimes 5 or 6 of your centimeters. The following feature is very different from your body and part of our reptilian origin. If you touch the back side of my upper body, you will feel a hard bony line through my clothing. This is not my spine, but a very difficult shaped external plate structure of skin and tissue following exactly our spine from the head to the hip. There is an extremely high number of nerves and large blood vessels in this structure, and in the plates, which are around 2 or 3 centimeters long and very touch sensitive. This is the reason why we have always problems to sit in chairs with a back like this chair. The main task of these small plates, besides a role in our sexuality, is simply the regulation of our body temperature, and if we sit in natural or artificial sunlight, these plates become more blood-filled, and the vessels become wider, and the sun is able to heat up our reptiloid blood, which circulates through the body and through the plates for many degrees, and that gives us great pleasure. What else is different from your kind? Oh, we have no navel because we were born in a different way to your mammal birth. The other exterior differences from your kind are minor, and I think I must not mention all now because most of them are not visible if we wear clothing. I hope the description of my body was detailed enough. I would advise you to make some drawings. Question: what kind of clothing do you generally wear? I suppose this is not the way you dress normally. Answer: no, I wear this human everyday clothing only when I'm among humans. To be honest, it's not very comfortable for me to wear such tight things, and it's always very unusual feeling. If we are in our own home, this means in our subterranean home, or in our large artificial sun areas, and we are together with others near to our own name, we are usually naked. Is this shocking to you? When we are in the public place and together with many others of my species, we wear very wide and soft clothing made of thin, light stuff. I have told you that many parts of our bodies are very touch-sensitive, mostly the small back plates, so we can't feel comfortable in tight clothing because it can hurt us. Man and woman often wear the same kind of clothing, but the colors are different for the sexes. Question: you've said others near your own name. Do you mean your family? Answer: no, not really. You would call it family, but this word means only those of your kind which belong genetically together, like father or mother and child. As I have said earlier, we have a very difficult and unique name. Part of the pronunciation of that name is absolute unique, and there is no other being with the same name. But part of this name, the middle part, is pronounced in a way that told you the others to which family, I must use the word because you haven't the right one in your vocabulary, you belong. This means not that all in that group are genetically related to you, because these groups are usually very large and contain between 40 and 70 of us. This group includes generally your genetic relations, except one of them had decided to leave this group, and your connection with father and mother is often the strongest. It would be too difficult for me to explain to you now our very old social system, which is very complex, and we would need many hours only for the primary teachings. Maybe we can meet another time and I can give you detailed descriptions of all these things. Question: have you a tail like normal reptiles? Answer: do you see one? No, we have no visible tail. If you look at our skeleton, there are only a small rounded bone at the end of our spine behind the pelvis. This is a useless rudiment of tail of our ancestors, but it is not visible from the outside. Oh, our embryos have tails during the first months of development, but these tails disappear before they were born. A tail makes only sense for a primitive species which tries to walk on two legs and then must hold the balance with the tail. But our skeleton has changed during evolution and our spine is nearly the same shape as yours, so we need no tail to stay on 2 feet. Question: you said you were born in a different way to us. Do you lay eggs? Answer: yes, but not like your birds or primitive reptiles. Actually, the embryo grows in a protein liquid inside the mother's womb, but there is also an egg-shaped but very thin chalk hull around it that fills the whole womb. The embryo inside this hull is completely autark from the mother's body, and it has every substance it needs to develop inside this chalk hull. There is also a cord, like your navel cord, which is connected to a point hidden behind the back plates. When the baby is going to be born, the whole egg is pressed through the vagina, covered in a slimy protein substance, and the baby came out of this soft egg after some minutes. These 2 horns in our middle fingers were instinctively used from babies to break through the chalk hull to take their first breath. Our young are not so large as your babies when they are born. They are between 30 and 35 of your centimeters tall. The egg is around 40 centimeters tall. This is because our vagina is smaller than a human one. But we grow to a normal size of 1.6 to 1.8 meters. Question: what about your body temperature? You said that you enjoy to lay in the sun. What effect has this to your organism? Answer: we are not mammals, and as reptiles our body temperature depends on the temperature of our surroundings. If you touch my hand, you will maybe feel that it is colder than yours because our normal body temperature is around 30 to 33 degrees centigrade. If we sit in the sun, especially naked, and with our row of small backplates in the sun, our body temperature can rise for 8 or 9 degrees within minutes. This rise can cause a production of many enzymes and hormones in our body. Our heart and brain and every organ becomes more active, and we feel then very, very good. You humans only enjoy to be in the sun, but for us it is the greatest pleasure you can imagine, maybe like your sexual excitement. We also enjoy to swim in very warm water or other liquids to raise our body temperature. If we are for some hours in the shadow, our temperature goes back to 30 to 33 degrees. This can cause no harm to us, but we feel much better in the sun. We have artificial sunrooms in the underground, but this is not the same for us like the real sun. Question: what do you eat? Answer: generally various things like flesh, fruit, vegetables, special kinds of fungus from subterranean farms, and other things. We can also eat and digest some substances which are poisonous for you. The main difference between you and us is that we must eat flesh because our body needs the proteins. We can't live completely vegetarian like your kind because our digestion would stop working and we would die after some weeks or maybe months without flesh. Many of us eat raw flesh or other things which would be disgusting to you. Personally, I prefer cooked flesh and surface fruits like apples or oranges. Question: can you tell me something about the natural history and evolution of your species? How old is your species? Have you evolved from primitive reptiles as mankind has evolved from apes? Answer: oh, this is a very long and complex story, and it sounds certainly unbelievable to you, but it's the truth. I will try to explain it in short. Around 65 million years ago, many of our unadvanced ancestors from the dinosaur race died in a great global cataclysm. The reason for this destruction was not a natural disaster, an asteroid impact, as your scientists believe falsely.